In a small village surrounded by mountains and crystal-clear rivers, there lived a man named Gabriel. He did not own much. His house was simple, made of weathered wood, and his work consisted of growing vegetables in a modest plot of land. But there was something about Gabriel that made him different from everyone else. He carried within him an unshakable joy. People used to say that just meeting him on the street could brighten their day. His smile was wide, genuine, and his eyes sparkled as if he carried a sun inside himself. It didn't matter if heavy rain fell or if the scorching heat burned the skin. Gabriel always had a positive word, an unexpected joke, or a small gesture of kindness. Yet not everyone understood that spirit. Some neighbors murmured, "Doesn't he see the problems in the world? How can he live so content without complaining?" What they didn't know was that Gabriel also had his own share of pain. He had lost his parents when he was still young, his harvest sometimes wasn't enough to last through the month, and loneliness often visited his home like a cold wind on winter nights. But instead of giving in to bitterness, Gabriel had chosen a different path. He decided that joy would be his weapon against the darkness. One morning, the village was struck by a strong storm. The river overflowed, streets were flooded, and many families lost part of their belongings. The atmosphere was filled with discouragement and fear. People walked with their heads down, speaking of losses, damages, and misfortune. Then, Gabriel appeared in the square with his hoe on his shoulder and his smile intact. He began helping an old lady clear water from her yard. Later, he gathered children and invented a game with pieces of wood floating in the street. Slowly, laughter began to rise amidst the chaos. "He must be crazy," said a merchant watching. "How can he play in the middle of so much destruction?" But others noticed something different. Gabriel's joyful presence did not erase the problem, but it gave strength to face it. It was as if, by laughing, singing, and being grateful for the little that remained, he reminded everyone that life was still worth living. In the following days, Gabriel led spontaneous work groups. Always with good humor, he mobilized neighbors to rebuild what had been lost. He sang while carrying bricks, told funny stories while fixing fences, and encouraged children to plant flowers where the mud had left scars. Little by little, the entire village began to change. That joy, which once seemed small and even naive, turned out to be contagious. People who used to complain about everything discovered the value of gratitude for what they still had. Sadness, although legitimate, no longer dominated hearts as before. One day, a traveler passed through the village. He had come from far away, weary of the hardships of life and the lack of hope. Seeing Gabriel humming a song while distributing vegetables to neighbors, he asked, "Tell me, sir, what is the secret of your happiness?" Gabriel smiled and replied, "It's no secret. It's a choice. Every day I wake up and remember that I can feed either sorrow or joy. Sorrow keeps me trapped. Joy sets me free." The traveler fell silent, reflecting. He had never thought that joy could be a decision, and not just a consequence. Years later, when Gabriel was already old, the village became known as the Village of Hope. Strangers came to see that place where people worked with smiles and helped one another. And everyone would tell how it all began with a simple man who had no riches or fame, but who possessed an invisible treasure, the power of being joyful. Final reflection. Being joyful does not mean ignoring problems, nor pretending pain does not exist. It means choosing to look beyond it, to recognize the beauty that still inhabits our days, and to spread that light. Joy has the power to transform environments, to heal weary hearts, and to rekindle hope where only ashes remain. Gabriel reminds us that although we cannot control every circumstance, we can decide with what spirit we will face them. And choosing joy, even on the darkest days, is one of the most powerful ways to overcome.